Hi friends, so today you guys are going to be drawing Pete the cat with bunny ears in a basket filled with Easter eggs. This is what it's going to look like, and some of the supplies you're going to need are some watercolors, oil pastels, pencil, Sharpie, and a paintbrush, of course. Now you don't have to use all of these. You can use, if you want, markers or crayons or color pencils, whichever one you guys want to use to color. But go ahead and have a lot of fun and enjoy drawing Pete the cat. Hi friends, so to begin our Pete the cat drawing, dressed as an Easter bunny, we are going to start off by drawing his face. So we're going to start with the bottom of his face, which is more or less his chin, and we're going to do it about in the middle of your paper. So you're going to start about 4 fingers from the side, and you're going to go ahead and draw a dot, and then 4 fingers from the other side, and line up and do another dot. So you can kind of see my dot, one there and one there. They're right there. Then we're going to go ahead and we are going to draw a really stretched out letter V. So we're going to go ahead and connect these two in the middle, but you're going to start off at an angle to create a letter V. And you don't want to make it super pointy. You kind of want it to be a little bit rounded. So you're going to go ahead and start off on either side, and you're going to draw a line in the middle to there. Same thing on the other side to there. So it's almost like a really, like if you were to take a letter V and you were to stretch it out as far as you can. Okay, now once you have that, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to take these 2 lines and we are going to draw his ears. So you're going to bring this line up, and it's just going to be a straight line up. You're going to bring it up probably about 4 fingers up. So you're going to straight line up. Same thing on the other side, straight line up. Okay, now you have more or less the shape of his face. Then now we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring these parts of our ears in. So you want to go ahead and take this point, and you're not going to bring it in all the way, just a little bit. So you're going to start here, you're going to bring it in, go back to the other side, bring it in. Okay, so now we have his bottom jaw, the sides of his ears, the tops of his ears, and now you're just going to go ahead and curve to connect these 2 lines for the top of his head. So go ahead and curve and connect. So now we have Pete the cat's face. Okay, so once you have that, then we're going to go ahead and start on his eyes. Pete the cat has really big eyes. They take up pretty much most of his face. So you're going to start on the outside part, and right here, you're going to go ahead and do a curved line and meet in the middle, then do another curved line and connect at the bottom. Same thing on the other side. Curved line, curved line. They're pretty big. They almost look like he's wearing sunglasses because he's got some really big eyes. Then you're going to go ahead and at the top line, you're going to do a letter U. Same thing on the other side. Letter U. And then inside of that letter U, you're going to go ahead and do another letter U and another letter U, but smaller. So now we have Pete the cat's eyes. Now, if you don't want them so big, you can also make them smaller, but I like mine that size. Now for his nose, it's pretty much an upside down triangle. So you're going to start about here at the bottom of his face. You're going to do a little line across and then a letter V. And there is Pete the cat's face. Now, Pete the cat is dressed up as a bunny. He's got some bunny ears. So you're going to start by drawing. You're going to take your 2 fingers in the middle of his face like this. And you're going to draw a line on that side and a line on that side. And that's where the inside part of his bunny ears are going to start. So you're going to go ahead and follow this line up, and you're going to curve it out. Same thing on the other side. Follow this line up and curve it out. One can be longer than the other. Bunny ears aren't always perfect. Then you're going to go ahead and bring this part, and you're going to bring it down, and it's going to match up pretty much with his ear. So you're going to go ahead and curve it down. Same thing with the other side. Curve it down. Now I made his ears kind of look a bit floppy, and you can do the same, or you can make them just perfectly curved round. Doesn't matter, it's up to you. Now that he has his 2 ears, I'm going to double up my line. So you're going to go ahead and double up your line. So he has 1 ear on that side. Same thing on the other side. 1 ear on the other side. So there are his 2 bunny ears. Now, once I have that, where we drew his 2 cheeks right here, kind of, these 2 dots, that's where you're going to draw his whiskers, but we're not going to start on that just yet. We are now going to draw his body, and his body's super, super easy. It's just, we're going to draw 2 long lines, but not all the way down, because down here is where his basket is going to go. So you're just going to start right there, and start right there, and you're just going to draw a line down, and another line down. Not very difficult at all. Now this is where we're going to start drawing the Easter basket. So you're actually going to go ahead and draw the top of the Easter basket by drawing a curved line like that. And then you're going to draw a curved line down, curved line down. Okay, now once you have that completed, now we're going to do the Easter basket handle. So you're going to bring a line all the way up, curve at the top. Make sure you're going behind your ear. Don't go on top of your ear. So curve line, and then bring the curve line all the way down to that side. So it should look like that. Now go ahead and double up this line. So you're just going to go ahead and double it up the best that you can. It's okay if it's a little bit tricky, you can erase it and go back over again. And there you go. There you have the handle of your Easter basket. Now, once you have that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to start drawing your Easter eggs. So you're going to kind of draw the Easter eggs around him. So you're going to start in the middle, and you're going to go ahead over here. And it's pretty much you're doing a lot of really big upside down letter U's. So we have 1. Now, I have Pete the Cat's body right there. So I'm going to go ahead and erase it, because we don't want that line. Then you're going to go ahead and draw another one. Same thing, erase his body line as well. And then just kind of fill it up. You can even do one back here if you want. Same thing on the other side. He's kind of in the basket with all of the Easter eggs. Now, if you want, go ahead and start drawing different patterns on your Easter eggs. So for example, on this one, I'm going to go ahead and do a zigzag line and then double my line. Do the same thing on the bottom. For this one, it's going to get some polka dots. Over here, we're going to do some stripes. And I think over here, we're going to do some bigger stripes. Polka dots in the back of this guy. And probably some bigger stripes over here. Do whatever pattern you feel. If you want, you can do even some flowers if you'd like. Totally up to you. Whatever works. Okay, now once you're done with your Easter eggs, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to start drawing the actual basket texture. So the basket texture is going to be quite simple. It's just a bunch of rectangles. So you're just going to go ahead and you're going to start in the middle and you're going to draw a rectangle right there. And then another rectangle and another rectangle. They kind of don't really touch a whole lot. You kind of want to keep them separated to give the texture of a basket. Then when you go underneath, you're going to go ahead and do another line of basket texture, and you're going to start in the middle of your 2 rectangles and just keep on doing the same pattern and texture. Quite simple. To the point where you finish all the way to the bottom of your basket. Now, if you don't want to do this texture, you don't have to do this texture. You can do something a lot different. You can just do it one solid color, or you can do even more patterns if you'd like. Totally up to you. I'm doing a basket. Okay, so now that I'm finishing this up, I'm gonna go ahead, and there's my basket. I'm gonna go ahead and now I'm going to trace over with my Sharpie. So you're gonna trace over all of your pencil lines. Now, I waited to the very end to do my whiskers. So that's gonna be the first thing that I draw are my whiskers. So he's got some pretty straggly long whiskers. So I'm gonna start on this side. I'm gonna give him about 4 whiskers on each corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. You notice how they're not perfect because his whiskers are not perfect. They're kind of messy. Okay. So first thing first is I'm going to start by coloring the inside of my bunny ears pink. Make Make sure to not leave any white spaces. And say if you do, you can just take your finger, if you're using oil pastels, and just rub it in, and it'll fill up the whole space. Once you're done, just rub it in and fill in the whole space. Okay, same thing on the other side. It's easier when you're filling in a big space like this to outline where you want to fill in, then fill it in. Okay, take your finger and rub it in. Okay, there you have the ears. Now I'm going to start by coloring in the inside part of his eye. Now this part stays white, but this part is going to be yellow. Do your best to stay in your lines. And don't rush, take your time. Okay, same thing on the other side. Okay, so far we have his eyes and his ears. Next, you're going to take your blue. So I'm actually going to just outline Pete the cat's body where it would be blue, because the rest of the part I'm actually going to paint. So you're just going to take your dark blue and you're just going to outline, whoops, you're just going to outline where his head and his body are. You want to press a little bit hard so that you really see the color and the line. Okay. Okay, cool. So another trick though that you can do is grab, so Pete the cat has a couple spaces on his face that are white. So he has these two parts of his eyes and his nose. So if you're gonna go ahead and paint his face, it's important to kind of fill that spot with white, oil pastel, or crayon, because that will protect it from getting paint on it with the watercolors. So I'm gonna take my white and I'm gonna fill in his eye part. Well, I keep on breaking my oil pastels. And his nose. And you can do the same thing with his ears if you'd like, the white part of his ears, so that they can stay white as well. You can just fill it in really nicely. Same thing on the other side. try to fill in the white as much as you can because you definitely don't want for there to get any watercolor when you paint it. Okay, so once you're done with that part, then you can go ahead and you can start coloring the details of your Easter eggs and your basket. But your basket, you're gonna do it a little bit different. So I'm actually going to paint my basket. So the same thing that I did with my Pete the Cat's face, where I'm just going to outline it and then paint over the color that I want. So I think I'm gonna put him in a brown Easter basket. So to do that, I'm just going to really lightly go over with my brown the lines of my basket. And I'm not gonna go ahead and make it all perfect. You just kind of wanted to outline it a little bit because you're going to paint it brown. Or whatever color you want. You don't have to do it brown if you don't want to. Go ahead and outline it. The same thing with the handle. Just go ahead and outline it the best that you can. Okay, now once you're done with that, you can even go ahead and take your brown, or you can grab like a mustard color if you want, and you can go ahead and go over the brown just to give it a different blend of colors, only if you want to. You don't have to. I'm just going to add a little bit to it. You can also make your basket purple if you want, green, pink, yellow, whatever color you feel like. You don't have to do. A brown. Okay. Okay, cool. So then once you're done with that, then you're gonna go ahead and do the designs of your Easter eggs. Now for Easter, I like to use some really bright colors. You don't have to, you can do whatever you want. But make them really colorful and pretty. And also, if you do not want to do any designs, you can also just do solid color Easter eggs, whatever you guys want to do, however you would like to decorate them. Okay, and then my last one, I'm gonna do some purple dots. Cool. Now once I'm done with that, now I am ready to start painting. Before you start painting, make sure to clean up all of the other stuff so that you got a good enough space for your watercolors and your water and your paintbrush. Okay, so I'm first going to start painting. Well, make sure you have your watercolors. I'm first going to start painting Pete the cat. So I'm going to find a good dark blue. I'm gonna use about that dark blue right there. Remember, dip your paintbrush in the water, make sure you got it pretty wet, and then get a good amount of paint. You don't need to use a whole lot if you got really good watercolors. Then stay in your lines to paint Pete the cat. Do you want to go ahead and grab more paint? Okay, so his face is pretty much done. Now I'm going to move on to, oops, got a little bit of blue paint on the side right here. It's okay, just wipe it up with your paper towel. I want to go back to doing his front of his body, and I'm doing my best to stay in my lines. I'm not trying to get onto my Easter eggs. And then he's got a little spot right here. That's the rest of his body as well. Okay, so now we have Pete the cat's body done. Now next, I'm going to go ahead and do my Easter eggs. Make sure you clean your brush really well before you go on to a different color. Otherwise your colors will get really muddy. You don't want that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some really fun bright colors for my Easter eggs. I think I'm going to do for this one some lime green. Now if you see, I am actually painting over the watercolor, over the oil pastel, and it's not really doing much to it. Still showing my purple. Now I'm going to clean this paintbrush really well, and I'm going to get some purple. Okay, clean my paintbrush really well. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some nice pink, really nice dark pink for my stripes. Okay, it's starting to come along really nicely. Clean your paintbrush really well. Now next I'm going to probably do this orange color for this Easter egg. I'm gonna use a teal for this one. Clean your brush really well. Next, I'm going to probably use some yellow for this part. Okay, now if your paintbrush is too big and you need a smaller paintbrush, go ahead and switch it out. But I kind of like using a bit of a bigger paintbrush. And then last but not least, I'm going to use some more pink for this one right here. Okay, so my Easter eggs are done. Now I'm going to move on to my basket. Now my basket, I'm going to do a light brown. I'm just gonna paint right over my lines where I did my oil pastel brown and yellow. Pretty lightly, you don't want it to be too dark. That's okay. I started to have a little bit of a bleed of my watercolors, but it's okay. I just kind of use my paper towel and clean it up a bit. Okay, there's that part. Now next I'm going to do is the handle. Okay, so there we have our basket with our egg and paint the cat in the middle with the bunny ears on top. So now you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna paint your background. You can paint your background whatever color you want. I'm going to probably do a light blue background and maybe a little bit of grass. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with my light blue. You can even wait till it dries a little bit if you want. Clean your brush really well. Make sure you get all of the colors off. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with my light blue. Okay. Now make sure when you're painting, you're doing long back and forth strokes. You don't want to be really rough on your brush. You want to be really gentle with them. Do your best to stay in your lines. And if you get a little bit on your Pete the Cat, it's okay. You just use your paper towel and wet it a little bit to clean it up. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of green to my bottom of my paper. I'm gonna really clean my brush really well. I'm just gonna blend it into my blue a bit. You can even do some tall grass if you like, or you can just do a long line, totally up to you. To do some tall grass, you just gotta do some straight lines up with your paintbrush. You don't wanna blend it into the blue too much. So just like that. And there you go, there's your Pete and the Cat with some bunny ears and Easter eggs. Hope you guys liked it.